my diabetes, my number's been high. So they just wanted me to, he's like, Dad, you can't do drink champs. I said, yo, I ain't gonna drink or smoke.
The funeral of Irv Gotti did not feel like an ordinary goodbye. It felt heavy, unreal, and almost hard to accept for many people who grew up listening to his music. The hip-hop world had already been shaken by the news of his passing, but what truly caught everyone off guard was the emotional tribute shared by his ex-wife, Debbie Lorenzo. Her words were honest, painful, and full of memories that made the entire room fall silent. People weren't just listening, they were feeling every sentence. Irv Gotti, born Irv Domingo Lorenzo Jr., was more than just a music executive. He was one of the key figures who helped shape the sound of early 2000s hip-hop. From his early days in Queens, New York, he understood music not as a hobby, but as a way to survive and build a future. He worked his way into the industry.
What people should expect first and foremost is a massively entertaining and truly accurate to the culture series. I love to say, because Bossip, you guys are about the culture. And this series is all about the culture.
With determination, and eventually earned a place at Def Jam Recordings, where his influence began to grow. One of his earliest major contributions came when he helped bring attention to the raw talent of DMX. The release of its Dark and Hell Is Hot was not just another album, it changed the energy of hip-hop at the time and pushed a darker, more emotional style into the mainstream. Later, he also played a role in shaping parts of Jay-Z's early work, including Reasonable Doubt, an album that would later be seen as a classic foundation of modern rap storytelling. But his biggest impact came in 1999 when he co-founded Murder Inc. Records. Alongside artists like Ja Rule and Ashanti, Gotti helped build a sound that blended hip-hop and R&B in a smooth, emotional way that stood out from everything else at the time. Murder Inc. was not just a record label, it became a...
Murder Inc. came across the TV, riddled with bullets. I started screaming, that's it. I'm going crazy in my house. Like, just imagine me by myself in my boxes and a t-shirt. That's it. Because at the time, the two biggest labels was Death Row and Bad Boy.
Cultural movement. Songs like Always on Time and Foolish dominated radio stations, clubs and charts, shaping the sound of an entire generation. Behind all the success, Gotti was known as someone deeply involved in every detail. He didn't just produce beats or sign artists. He created full experiences, songs that felt like moments in people's lives. His ability to mix street energy with melody gave his artists a unique identity that fans instantly recognized. However, his journey was not without struggle. In 2003, he faced...
Sad news out of the music world this morning. Famed hip-hop music executive Irv Gotti has died. Gotti, born Irving Domingo Lorenzo Jr. in Queens,
faced a major legal case involving money laundering accusations that brought heavy media attention. Although he was eventually acquitted, the trial affected both his personal life and the momentum of his label. Even after the legal battle, though, his influence in music never fully disappeared. His legacy stayed alive through the records and artists he helped build. Years later, news of his passing at the age of 54 shocked fans around the world. He reportedly suffered a severe stroke after dealing with ongoing health issues, including diabetes and earlier minor strokes. Those close to him said he often kept his struggles private. He didn't like showing weakness or asking for sympathy. Instead, he stayed focused on his work and his music until the very end. When the news broke, social media reacted instantly. Fans expressed heartbreak, and artists from across the industry shared their condolences. Even simple gestures, like a broken heart emoji posted by Ja Rule, spoke volumes about how deeply the loss.
Now I'm rebuilding my empire and trying to keep it together with my wife and kids. We may be separated, but I'll do anything for Deb. It ain't gonna be easy, but I'm getting back to the top.
Was felt. Hip-hop had lost one of its quiet architects, someone who helped build the sound behind many iconic careers. But beyond the fame and public recognition, the deepest loss was felt by his family, especially his children, Angie, Sonny and JJ. Those close to the family often said he was a very different person at home. No matter how busy or stressed he was, he lit up when speaking about his kids. They were his pride, his comfort, and his motivation through everything he faced. At the funeral, held at the Greater Allen AME Cathedral in Queens, the atmosphere was emotional but respectful. It wasn't just a formal service, it felt like a celebration of his life, his journey, and everything he contributed to music and culture. Friends, family.
All the time. I tell them everyone is born, we all born, and we're all gonna die.
And industry figures gathered to say goodbye to someone who had influenced so many lives. Then came the moment that everyone is still talking about, the tribute from Debbie Lorenzo. Their relationship had been complicated for years. They shared love, built a family together, went through success, pressure, arguments, and eventually separated in 2013. Their breakup had been difficult and public, filled with rumors and tension. But at the funeral, none of that mattered anymore. Debbie spoke from a place of reflection rather than anger. Her message did not try to rewrite the past or hide the pain they went through. Instead, she acknowledged everything, the good and the difficult, and focused on who Irv was beyond the headlines. She shared memories of their early days together, when he was still an ambitious producer working late into the night. She described how he would sit for hours in front of speakers, replaying beats over and over, determined to make everything sound perfect. Sometimes he would play early demos so loudly that the entire house would shake. He truly believed he was creating hits, and more often than not, he was right. In her words, people saw not just a music mogul, but a man who was driven, passionate, and fully consumed by his vision. Her tribute reminded everyone that behind the fame, success, and controversy, there was also a human story filled with love, struggle, and shared history. By the end of the service, many people were left emotional. It wasn't just about mourning a producer or executive. It was about recognizing a life that helped shape an entire era of music, and a farewell that reminded everyone how deeply one person can impact both an industry and the people closest to them. Debbie also looked back on one of the proudest moments in Irv Gotti's career, the day Ashanti's song Foolish reached #1. She remembered how his entire energy changed in that moment. According to her, he could not hide his excitement. His face lit up instantly, like all the pressure he carried had disappeared for a brief moment. It was one of those rare times when success felt personal, not just professional. She described him as someone who always went against expectations and did things his own way. In her words, "You shattered records and did it all on your own terms. You had a truly big heart." It was not just praise for his achievements, but also a reminder of the passion he put into everything he touched. To her, he was someone who gave his full energy to his dreams and never held back. But the most emotional part of her message came when she spoke directly about their children. That section of her tribute deeply moved many people who read it, because it shifted the focus away from fame and music and toward family, love, and loss. She said, "He loved you more than life itself. And now you're resting, know that we raised 3 beautiful, compassionate young adults, and I'm honored that God chose us to be their parents. It brought me joy to see them take such great care of you. Rest well, I love you, my friend." Those words hit hard for many people. Online comments showed that readers struggled to get through that line without feeling emotional. It wasn't dramatic or exaggerated. It was simple, honest, and deeply human. Debbie's message helped people see Irv Gotti not only as a powerful music executive, but also as a father who cared deeply about his children and valued family above everything else. Soon after, other figures from the music world began sharing their reactions. Ja Rule, who had been closely connected to Gotti since the early days of Murder Inc., responded in a very quiet but powerful way. He posted only a broken heart emoji. No caption, no explanation. That silence spoke louder than words. Their relationship had always been more than business. They were deeply tied through loyalty, struggle, and shared success. Ashanti also shared her thoughts, reflecting on her complicated history with Gotti. She admitted that things between them had not been easy in recent years, but she still chose to focus on gratitude rather than conflict. She wrote that she was deeply saddened by how things ended, and although their relationship had ups and downs, she would always appreciate what he did for her career and growth as an artist. Her message showed maturity and acceptance. Instead of revisiting old arguments or tension, she acknowledged the role he played in helping shape her path in music. It was a reminder that in the entertainment world, relationships are often complex, but impact still remains. Another well-known figure, Fat Joe, also paid tribute. He described Gotti as a creative genius who helped redefine the sound of hip-hop during his era. He spoke about long nights in the studio, where perfection mattered more than time. According to him, Gotti was extremely focused on details and never settled for anything less than what he believed was right. He ended his message by honoring Gotti's influence and sending prayers to his family, calling him someone who truly changed the culture. Not all reactions were respectful, though. 50 Cent, who had a long history of conflict with Gotti, posted a meme that appeared to mock the situation. That post quickly sparked backlash across social media, with many people criticizing the timing and tone. It also reopened discussions about how public feuds sometimes continue even after someone passes away. Despite the controversy, the overall feeling in the music industry was one of loss and reflection. Many artists and fans chose to focus on Gotti's contributions rather than old disputes. Actor and musician Jamie Foxx also shared a heartfelt message, expressing sadness and praising Gotti's influence. He described him as someone who spread wisdom and positivity through the people he met and worked with. In his words, Gotti's legacy would not disappear. It would continue through the music, the artists he helped build, and the cultural shift he contributed to during his career. Looking back, Irv Gotti's impact on music goes far beyond hit songs or record sales. He helped shape a sound that defined an era. Under his leadership, Murder Inc. became more than just a record label. It became a movement that blended hip-hop and R&B in a way that felt fresh, emotional, and powerful. Songs like Always on Time, Livin' It Up, and Down For You were not just popular tracks. They became part of everyday life for fans. Whether played in clubs, cars, or at home, his music created moments that people still remember today. What made Gotti different was not just his production skills, but his ability to see potential in others. He had a strong instinct for talent and believed in artists before the world recognized them. Many of those artists later credited him for giving them their first real opportunity and pushing them to reach their full potential. He also played a major role in breaking the barrier between rap and R&B. At a time when the two genres were often kept separate, he brought them together in a smooth and natural way. That style became a signature sound that influenced many producers who came after him.